That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip and Culpy. Booby's over there. I know he pointed over here.
Booby's in the tree.
But you were wrong.
On the shores of Ithaka.
Yep.
This QUO VADIS. QUO VADIS. Something in
It's a Patreon pick.
Patreon pick. This is what is this? A true cult?
I believe so. True cult. It's technical melodic death metal.
Okay. Technical melodic death metal. Okay. We've just recently got a batch of new patrons, so if you want to become part of a Patreon alliance or maybe start one of your own, you can reach out to, who's it, David Sage, Pony.
I always tell them, look for Christopher Cult.
Chris Cult.
He's in our friends list and on Facebook, and then he'll be able to hook you up with like whatever type of genre you're into.
Yeah, message us at facebook.com/Vin and Sori. Put something on the wall. Facebook is the best way to get linked up with a Patreon.
The fastest way though is just to find Christopher Culp in our friends list and message him. He's much quicker. He doesn't have such an abundance of messages.
I have 700 messages a day that I scroll through. So yeah. All right. Well, this is Day Into Night is the name of the record, and this is On the Shores of Ithaka. So
I just realized the little bumpy thing is gone.
This should be interesting.
Okay, ready? Oh yes. My life is saved. That's so much better. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Go.
man, they look, sometimes, I talk about this all the time, and I think anybody who's like plays guitar feels like this. You get into a rut when you're playing. You play, oh man, it sounds like it did before, blah blah blah. Because you're only pulling from the influences that if you're self-taught. I mean, if you're not, if you're actually taught on music theory, then I guess your palette's much wider and you're able to do a lot more things. But so you're like, you always get stuck in this one type of, and then you hear a song like this and you're like, how the hell? Somebody came, the guitar work on this thing was ridiculous.
Yeah, the guitar work was really good, especially like that ending part where I looked at you and I was like, oh.
Yeah, well then they were kind of teasing you. They had like a section going and it was like, oh, you're about to go, and then they stopped.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, not yet. That, the talent that some people have is unbelievable to me. Like it's just unbelievable to me the way that folks are able to just, that people are just that gifted and that creative. It is really, really difficult to be that creative and make it sound good. It's like I was saying in the Gershak video, where sometimes that's my thing with prog metal. It's like a lot of time, and this isn't prog per se, it's more like technical, but it's just like, oh, we're gonna try to do different things or mess with arrangements or mess with timing just to say that we're, prog or whatever. But this was good, and it's hard to do something different and good simultaneously to appeal to a bunch of people. I mean, I really like the musicianship on this song. Of course, we don't talk about musicianship a lot on the channel because we're more focused on the lyrics, but good lord. So what did they say this was? They said this was technical. This was technical.
Technical melodic death metal. Yep, technical melodic death metal.
We did a technical death metal pick before with True Cult. It was a story about that guy, and he heard from God to kill his daughter or something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the band. But True Cult is picking some badass songs, man. Good lord. I really, really like the musicianship on this song. I had to focus on the lyrics because I was like, kind of...
Did you...
It's definitely a shower song.
Did you like the lyric delivery?
So I was getting... Well, on this particular song, more than most, I was getting lost on the musicianship. So I was like I was phasing in and out of the lyrics. And then I just said to myself, well, I'll figure it out when we get to it.
No, I mean, did you like the sound, like the lyrical delivery?
I wasn't paying attention to him.
Oh.
Sorry, big homie, whoever you are, singer person.
See, that was all I could focus on at first, and so I didn't like the song like at all. I don't like it when it's bleh, bleh. You know how like I've said that before, like when it's these little spurts of like lyrics that kind of throw at you. Like I don't like the sound of that.
Oh.
I like it when something kind of flows and it doesn't like have that flow when it kind of pulses like that. So I at first didn't like the song until it got to that ending piece where I like looked at you when they had all the
main
like
riff,
instruments.
the main riff at the beginning.
Yeah, that was good.
I love that. So I this could almost have been an instrumental. Although when I look at the lyrics, I like the lyrics. I like what they were saying, but it could almost have been an instrumental because of how.
Well, I can just move this computer over there.
I'm having technical difficulties with my main computer, so now we've got to make do with lyrics. So you didn't like the vocal delivery?
No, I didn't.
Just leave it.
We could just slide it. We would have been done this.
Done what? Nothing to be done. Okay. In our mind's eye, certainty, all-powerful beyond blindness and fear, confident, fused with vanity, arrogant, propelled by scorn, foresight relegated to beg in the streets of despair, caution forever lagging behind the horizon, as we sail from day into night's web, thick with deceit of a tender embrace and a knife in the heart. Woo! Knife through the heart. So it seems like Shores of Ithaka is like trying to achieve some sort of societal utopia, because it explicitly says it. How do we reach utopia,
Yeah,
our
I saw that.
shores of Ithaca, if we move in the opposite direction? So, worlds collide, worlds shatter, opinions are cheap, fed by ignorance. So I think it's about like warring worldviews, trying to figure out how to get to how to create utopia when people are so set in their ways and people aren't open-minded enough to figure out how to get to work together. Which is
sometimes that's how I feel when I think about the Sermon on the Mount, or I think about, you know, like turn the other cheek rather than like eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, wow, like it's gonna take a miracle, which obviously I believe it's something that God's gonna have to do, like for people, because for the majority of an entire generation to stop and say, okay, like we have to stop this cycle of violence, like that's gonna be a pretty wild thing. For right now, everybody's like, you do this to me, I'm doing this back to you. It's very, that was in the it's funny because the Satanic Bible, or that list of stuff that that our buddy sent us.
like Anton LaVey, not the commandments of the Satanists,
it was kind of like that. It was
the
like,
life philosophy of Satanists. Or
yeah, it was. I can't remember the exact wording, but it was basically the opposite. Because ours is do unto others as you would have them do to you, but theirs is do unto others as they do to you.
Right.
So.
Well, and it was interesting. It was something like somebody messes with you, like destroy them or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. You could have rolled with us back in the day. All right.
It was so funny because I read it to the kids and seeing their reactions, like, what do you guys think about this? And like when I hit that point, like they couldn't believe, like they were I almost recorded it because they were laughing so hard because they were like, because that's how everybody wants to be, like, you know what I mean? Like everybody wants to fight back when something happens to them. And so like the words, like to take it to that extreme level, destroy them. They were like, what? They couldn't believe like grown adults were saying such a thing.
Yeah, but I mean that's how a lot of Christians are though. That's the thing, is like, you know, I just before we started recording this, I was watching a video of all the times that folks pulled out guns. It was a Second Amendment video.
Yeah.
It's about all the times that folks were pulling out guns, and then it's this last one with the little old lady, and the dude came in the house, and she pulled out her revolver, and she's like, well, yeah, I was trying to kill him.
Yep.
She's like, you come into my house, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna kill me, or I'm gonna kill you. And it was like, rah, 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 America, Second Amendment. And it was posted by a Christian.
Yikes.
So it's like, how is that different from Satanism, which says somebody fucks with you, destroy it? How's that different?
No, it's not different.
It's the same thing.
It's not different.
It's the same thing.
Right.
You know, so it's like on the one hand, it's like, oh my God, Satanism. But then on the other hand, it's like, yeah, the Satanist is saying destroy that. I think I read an interview where LaVey or Gilmore or whatever said, well, I mean, it's hyperbolic to prove a point. We don't literally mean destroy people. And you don't see Satanists running around destroying people. Mm-hmm. They don't do that. You know what I mean? Basically, leave them alone. They're okay. And they're probably, you know, chill people to hang out with. But, you know, I don't see a bunch of Satanists walking around with the freaking push. The Satanists aren't the one with the Second Amendment stuff blowing people away.
Yeah, I know the Christians are huge into it. Well, that just means
every time there's
philosophy.
Every time there's one of these school shootings, it's always the Christians, you know, doing the support the NRA stuff and talking about murdering people. Somebody comes to my house, I'm gonna blow them away. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, so it's a weird thing about, you know, blindness and fear, because on the one hand, that same Christian would probably condemn the Satanist dude for saying he's going to destroy his enemies.
Well, yeah, because nobody says it straight up like that. It's just a very honest way of putting it.
I've rolled with people that have said that.
Christians, I'm saying. Oh, you've had Christians say that? Like, if anybody messes with me, I'm going to destroy them?
No, we weren't saying that.
It's like Trump, you know, like he says things that people like think, but he like just says it out, and you're like, whoa.
Well, usually the guy that walks around saying, I'm going to destroy anybody, is usually the softest guy in the group. It's usually a dude that's quiet, that doesn't talk about killing people. Like, that's a guy that's got like 5 bodies on his gun. So it's like, yeah, they're saying that, but who's doing the killing? Who's running around with all their guns?
Right.
You know, like there's that church shooting, and the freaking the pastor posted his thing the next thing, there was a shooting at a church last year, and then like, you know, the guy killed a bunch of people. And then the pastor posts on his Facebook, no words or anything, he's got this like shotgun in his pulpit. And it was basically like, come get, you know, like pull up, you know what I mean? Like,
pull up. What? Yeah, when you showed me that, I was like, wait, what?
It's like, are you serious? You know, like. So anyway, you know, we've got the certainty that we're right. You're like, we're completely right, and then we're, you know, all powerful. You know, you kind of like make your way of looking at the world like the divine.
Yeah.
Sort of. And I was talking, but of course, the same thing happens with secularists. Like we were talking in the what do you call it? In the fireside yesterday, which mysteriously disappeared from
Yeah,
YouTube.
we have no idea what.
But in the fireside yesterday...
Don't forget, if all of a sudden our channel got shut down, find us at vinandsori.com.
Right. But like, you know, it's the same thing with the secularists, because they're like, I was having this conversation and I was like, you assume that secularism is a normal state of affairs in the normal way that everything should be.
Uh-huh.
And you don't believe that you should argue for it or that you should have to justify it. You just believe that secularism is a normal state of affairs, and that religious people have to justify themselves to you in the public square. I'm like, dude, the majority of human history, we were not secularists. Mm-hmm. You know, because, oh yeah, somebody was talking about a theocracy. Oh, Mike Pence wants a theocracy. He's a bad guy because he wants a theocracy. I'm like, well, you want a secularocracy.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You want your secular Sharia.
Right.
You know, Muslims want their Sharia. We want our Sharia. You want your secular Sharia. Mm-hmm. You know, like, everybody wants a Sharia. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, some dude was like, well, nobody wants to impose their belief system on you. I'm like, what do you tell? Of course you do. What do you mean you don't want to impose your belief system on me? Yes, you do. Mm-hmm. Why my tax dollars go to Planned Parenthood? Of course you're imposing your belief system on me. And I get it. You're winning right now. So, okay. You know, in a generation or two, we'll outchild you and it'll be different. But, you know, like, it's hard to, everybody's blind to their own biases, you know, so he was like, well, if you wanted to sacrifice your babies to your gods, then yes, we would impose our morality on you. And he didn't realize the irony of what he was saying.
Walked right into that one. I remember hearing that.
He didn't realize the irony of what he was saying. But so yeah, I think it's talking about like the difficulty of being able to get together and create the society that all of us want. Because I think the secularist, the Muslim, and the Christian, I think everybody wants the same type of thing. It's a good, you know, utopian society where everybody can get along and live in peace. But
everybody believes they have the answer to that.
The problem is that the path of getting there is radically different for everybody. You know, so like the secularists think, oh man, because a lot of the question is what the problem is. Because if you say, okay, my worldview has a solution, it's possible. So it's possible that secularism might be the solution. But in my mind, secularism's solution is that religion is the problem. Mm-hmm. So you get all these people that are blindly saying that religion is the problem. Mm-hmm. And then you say, well, all the bloodshed in the 20th century wasn't based on religion.
Right.
So obviously that's not the problem. Or you have other people saying, oh, well, you know, the way to deal with men's sexual proclivity is to have women covered from head to toe. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem. Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's not. That's not why men rape women. It's not because women aren't covered from head to toe. You know, so it's like if you misdiagnose the problem, then you're going to misdiagnose the solution. Mm-hmm. So, you know, everybody with these competing worldviews that are trying to create this utopia, you're doing it from a perspective of my package of beliefs and actions and, you know, whatever is going to address our ultimate issue. Mm-hmm. Yep. And of course, we believe that people's ultimate issue is their disconnection from God and human sinfulness. Right. And so our package of belief and actions then are designed to address that. And of course, we believe that that's the ultimate problem. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. It's like how are we ever going to get to our utopia? Mm-hmm. But we're going in the opposite direction while trying. It's very, very interesting. Right. Let it happen. Worlds collide. Worlds shatter. You know, like all these things.
Mm-hmm. Opinions are cheap, fed by ignorance.
Well, yeah. Well, that was one of the things that really struck me about this recent issue with the I think her name is Jacqueline, the little girl at the border, is that the phrase, I don't know when this song was written, but the phrase "opinions are cheap" is mega interesting because now we have in the year 2000. Okay, so this guy, when he said opinions are cheap, he had no idea how right he was, because now you've got people talking about heavy, weighty things in 140 characters. So you got Sean King blaming Donald Trump for the death of this little 7-year-old girl. And he gets to do that, and he's got this giant platform, and everybody's listening to him, and he's completely wrong. He's completely wrong, but you can influence so many people without having to think. Like, there's a specific case right now that I'm not commenting on yet in Middle America because I've only heard one side of it. And it's got all these racial undertones and everything like that. And people have asked me in the chat, yo, comment on it, and I'm still not commenting on it because I haven't done the research on it yet. I know what the party line is. I know what everybody's saying.
Right.
But I don't know the specific details, so I'm not going to say anything about it yet. But you know, like, opinions are absolutely cheap, and it's crazy. And then it says confident fused with vanity. It's like, you're so confident.
Yeah.
and it's true. And people are so vain because when you say, actually, here are the actual facts about what happened, you've already blasted to all your 3,000 friends that Trump is a jerk for da-da-da-da-da.
Yep.
So then now you get some fact. You're too prideful to come out and say, actually, no, I was wrong about that. Can't do it. You know what I mean? So it's just, and then you get propelled by scorn because now instead of saying, yeah, I was wrong, now you want to go and defend that shit to the death. And it's the same thing with Trump supporters. Like, you know, you're clearly wrong about something, and you're not gonna do anything because you were 2 seconds ago on your Facebook calling everybody a snowflake and
it's true though.
Whatever.
Get past our pride and be able to, you know, see things for what they really are, and then be able to say, oh, you know, I was wrong. Like, nobody expects anybody to be right all the time.
Right.
And if you always are saying that you're right and you're never in the wrong, then you're not a very trustable person.
Right.
Like, you are going to make mistakes. You are going to have opinions on something that are wrong. And then when you figure out you were wrong, you just come back and make it right.
Well, you're more apt to make mistakes in this current climate than ever, literally ever in human history.
Right.
Because we've never had the ability to speak about such weighty, heavy topics to so many people simultaneously. 20 years ago, the only people that were able to report, like, some people found out about Jacqueline through our channel. I found out about Jacqueline through Twitter, through Sean King. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's more than ever, like, you, regular, normal human being, it's used to be, you know, you had, you know, way back in the Stone Age, you had one kind of prophet in your community who knew what was going on, and everybody would look to him, and then it evolved to, the academics who knew what was going on. Then it evolved past that to the media, and the media was just this cadre of people that knew what was going on. But now, because of social media, everybody knows what's going on. That's the problem. So, you know, that's where the whole fake news thing and everything happened, because now regular people are able to make these fact statements that may or may not be true.
But I think that the media set us up for that because they were putting out false information. They were highlighting certain facts and leaving out other facts. They were swaying the people. And so people said, well, I can do a damn better job than you're doing.
Sure.
So then, you know, I think they set it up for that.
Well, some people were saying I can do a better job. Other people were just completely emotional. So, like, for example, Sean King, he posted that yesterday about Jacqueline. It was completely emotional. This is horrible. This is a sin. We should be ashamed of ourselves, blah, blah, blah. His complete emotions, and he had his presupposition about what happened. The nasty white border agent, and the girl is, please get me something to drink. And he goes, no, brown person. Like, that's what was going on in his head. He wasn't thinking about how, you know, they were giving the girl mouth to mouth after she vomited, and how, you know, they were up the side of the road hysterically trying to save her, and how they life flighted her and waited with her in the hospital. He didn't know about that stuff. All he heard was Jacqueline's dead, and she's brown, and it's Trump's fault, you know? So I think this is kind of like a prophetic. It's almost prophetic in the sense of, blurred eyes we strain, seeing a different reality, each vision at odds with the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean that's you gotta be a real. The thing is, the only solution to actually finding out what's true now is to slow down. Mm-hmm. You got an opinion, slow down. Mm-hmm. Some major topic is happening, and all the talking heads are talking, including me. Slow down and weigh what's being said. Otherwise, you have no hope. If you're one of these, I get my news from 140 characters, and that's how I'm going to formulate my worldview. You're done. You're finished.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. What do you give the song?
7. I didn't really like it that much.
I would have given it a 10 if the vocals kind of jumped out to me. They didn't jump out to me at all, so it doesn't get a 10. But it gets a 9.8 because the lyrics were prophetic. The music was insane, and I think if we focus on the lyrics, we've got a lot of things to think through as a community and as a society. That's why we say we're the media. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.